How are you all? Dave Rossio here again from KPM Fuel Systems. Welcome back to our fuel room. I just want to carry on from a video we did a week or two ago on the Mustang fuel systems. We carried out a video showing you our 800 horsepower, our 1000 horsepower, our 1500 horsepower direct drop-in systems for the Mustang. If you're not a Mustang owner or Mustang enthusiast, this video covers all the vehicles, so just take that on board. If you're a Camaro owner or a Commodore owner or a Pontiac owner, this video will cover those vehicle makes and models as well, Trackhawk or Jeep Cherokee. But today we're just going to talk about Mustang and continue with where we left off. Now we left off with our 1500 horsepower in our tank simulator. So today we're just going to move on from that, and we're going to go to our 2200 and our 2700 horsepower setup, and we're going to show you how easy that is just to add on to your 1500 or buy as a kit complete. Right, so your 1500 is a direct drop-in. What we do when we go to a 2200 or a 2700 horsepower fuel system, we'll add a second module into the secondary side of the fuel tank. So you've got your 1500 there existing, but we'll add a second module into the saddle tank, into the secondary side of the saddle tank. And that's what we've got there today. Now we can either add another 800 horsepower module, or we can add another 1500 horsepower module into the secondary side. That will take it up to a 2200 horsepower or a 2700 horsepower system. Today we've got a 1500 and a 1500, meaning that's a 2700 horsepower setup, and we're going to show you exactly how that works. What I want to do first is I'll take away these modules. We're going to put a saddle tank on there, so you can see a saddle tank next to the simulator, exactly what it looks like. Okay, so here we have the standard Mustang fuel tank. It's called a saddle tank. You can see why. It looks like a saddle. And like our simulator, it has the primary side where the standard Mustang fuel module is housed. I'll take that out in a sec, I'll show you. And the secondary side, now it is still all one tank, it is all connected. And the secondary side houses the standard fuel level sender. But what we're going to do here at what we do here at KPM, we actually utilise that secondary side for another fuel module. So we'll have our 1500 horsepower fuel module in our primary side, exactly as per our simulator. We'll remove the sender unit, fit the sender unit to our secondary module, and then have another either 2200 or 2700 horsepower setup on our secondary side. Plumb it all together as we've got it plumbed in the simulator, and you can see visually what we're trying to do here. So this is a standard Mustang module. I'm just going to remove that. Now that would normally be clicked underneath, so we'd unclick that, take that away. We're going to make it into a 1500 horsepower setup. We'll take the crossover that's in there, we'll click it, we'll fit it, we'll fit the slip ring onto there, click in the wiring, we've got our 1500 module in there. Now if you're at that level, that's what you'll be seeing, just the one pump on that side, one module on that side, still with your standard sender. If you decide to go more power and you need more fuel, we can help you. We can add that secondary side module where we remove your standard sender unit. So I'll unclick that. Okay, and then we'll put our secondary side module in first. We'll click in the crossover hose in there, sit the module down, fit the sender, plug it in, and that sits in there. Now that's just a bit of a rough indication of what we're doing there. Now we'll plumb the outside of it, so both the modules will meet together as you see them plumbed. Now that's very rough, but I just wanted to give you an indication of how easy this is. We'll supply you all the plumbing. We'll supply you the hold down strips and hold down protective tape. Put the slip rings on, house the modules. Primary module is now plumbed into the secondary module, and we have the outlet at the back, as you can see, going to the fuel line system that we supply for you. That's how easy it is to fit the 2700 horsepower. Now, or 2200. Now I want to show you the functionality of it in our test unit. You've got a visual of what the tank actually looks like. We're gonna have a look at it transparently to see what happens inside. So at the moment, our 1500 horsepower is, well, our primary module, let's call it a primary module at the moment, is just functioning at about 176 litres per hour. It's just ticking away there. You'll notice our secondary module isn't functioning at all. Reason being, it's all wired into our fuel system controller. Our fuel system controller will run the system at 58 pound of pressure, always. We've set it at that, it's pre-programmed for that, but we can program it to whatever pressure. 58 pound is a OE style of pressure, and we set it to 58 pound. That's how you get the system. The primary module will run at 58 pound. As soon as it starts dropping a pound of pressure, it'll bring on the secondary module. It is that instant. It'll do it in 1/100th of a second. So the secondary module won't come on until it's actually needed. So let's see how far we can go with the primary module before the secondary module comes on. Like I said, it's at 176 litres per hour, 180, 343. Fuel pressure still 58 pounds. So it hasn't brought on the secondary module as yet. You'll notice the secondary module comes on when you'll see it cascading. 500, 540, 580, secondary module has just come on. The fuel pressure sensor and the fuel controller sensed that it dropped a half a pound of pressure, and it brought the secondary module on. Now the secondary module will stay on and keep that pressure at 58 pounds. So we've now got the primary and the secondary modules both flowing. We're at 600 litres per hour, 700 litres per hour. Let's just stop there for a second. I've got a 2700 horsepower setup here. 4 Bosch Racing fuel pumps at 58 pound. And we're wanting to bring this up to a rate of 2700 horsepower. How much fuel is that? 2700 horsepower is approximately 1100 litres per hour of fuel at the flywheel on pump fuel. That's an engineering calculation. Have someone work that out for you. But that's what we know to be an approximate for 2700 horsepower. So we're going to bring this right up to 1100 horsepower, and we're going to make sure that fuel pressure doesn't drop. 1100 litres. We're at 1000 litres per hour now, and we're still at 58 pounds of pressure, meaning the pumps are still keeping up. Notice the level of the tank, and they're still both overflowing. Hardly any fuel in the tank, and the tank's going down evenly. 1130, still at 58. 1200, just dropping now to 57. I think we've reached the capacity of both the systems. 1230, 1300, and we've dropped down to 53 pound. But have a look, we're still overflowing with no fuel. This system will run till there's no fuel in the tank. We're going to run right out in a second. You'll see the pressure completely drop. There we go. I need to turn that off before I burn the pumps out. But what just happened there? We ran the system at 1100 litres per hour of fuel. That equates to roughly 2700 horsepower of fuel. It stayed at 58 pound of fuel pressure, meaning it had constant, reliable, tunable fuel pressure for the whole period. We ran it down. There was so much fuel being pumped to the front, imagine going to the engine, that the fuel tank came down quite quickly. And we ran the system right down until empty, where there was still 58 pound of fuel, and we ran it beyond its capacity, which was about 1,300 litres per hour, which gave it about 55 pound. The system still flowed, and it still flowed perfectly while overflowing and cascading. Now the other thing I really do want you to notice, the level of the fuel came down evenly on both sides of the saddle tank, meaning that one side won't outrun the other side, starving the fuel starvations. The fuel level will come down evenly on the saddle tank, regardless of where you are on a full tank, a quarter of a tank, or a near empty tank. They'll run out together. That gives you guaranteed of strong, dense, solid supply of fuel at all times. So that's quite amazing. All of that is contributed to our plumbing system internally. It's contributed to our 4 Venturis per pump. That's 8 Venturis pumps together in total, scavenging all the fuel, meaning you can do what you like with it. You can race, you can drag race, you can take off quickly, you can corner, you can do what you like with it. 2,700 horsepower. I just think that there is nothing else like this in the world. Guys, if you've got a question, please ask. These are some tech videos. We want to answer your questions. We'll try to demonstrate as best we can. I hope we did that today. I tried to be as clear as I could. If you've got any questions or anything you need to ask, please contact me. David at KPM. Look us up on website. See you next time. Oh, by the way, I forgot to mention, of course, you can't run 2,700 horsepower of fuel without replacing the fuel line. So, my bad, I forgot to show you. We supply your form fit, direct fit stainless steel fuel lines. They're 1/2 inch ID. They'll supply all the fuel you need. As you saw, 1,100 litres per hour of fuel, inline filter, quick connect fittings. It'll click on to the existing all the way to your engine. See you next time.